taking all the material that I assign them that they're supposed to read and think about, and they're letting the AI do all the thinking, and then they're just cutting and pasting as time savers.
So how are you catching that?
Just by the wording, or I have an AI detector, which isn't the best because they can get around that, but a lot of students don't know how to get around it. So
it kind of works.
I failed a whole bunch of students. Not failed them, but failed them for assignments for their finals. So it's kind of
too bad, because with proper use, proper respect to it and respect to oneself, it's an interesting thought partner, and there's like a lot of value in it. But like trying to pass off assignments, it's like, what's the point? You're supposed to do it yourself, do the work.
Yeah. Just lazy.
Right. Well, some of it's that, but some of it's, I'm in a community college, so students have 40-hour-a-week jobs. They have a family at home, and their time is very limited. And so it's a time saver, but then there's no learning going on. So anyways.
I had a couple of minor actions at the tail end of my MU move that need to get cleaned up, if you guys don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, because we had kind of pulled the plug there before we went on to the final parts of the turn.
There were some cavalry action. So if we look, I'm just going to move this marker over here because that guy charged. And so he gets to be, he's already exhausted. Okay, that's good. And then this one here, it charged a disordered unit that was up on the hill. And can you guys remind me, did that disordered unit that was on the hill, did it route before melee, I think?
There was no melee.
Yeah, I think it disappeared, right?
Right.
Yeah, I took it off the map, if I remember.
Right. Yeah. So then the cavalry's not disordered when it made that advance because it didn't melee. It just took attacks. Okay, so then he's going to regroup back to here, and he's tired. That was all. And he gets a charge marker like this one. That was it.
Okay. Any other adjustments that anybody needed to make?
I can't think of any.
Okay. I thought maybe the French were going to be launching some unidentified drones out of these ponds here around Borodino.
Well, just wait. It might be coming.
There you go.
You've been testing them in the United States, and now you're ready to unleash them.
We've been testing them in New Jersey.
Yeah.
They have colorful lights, so the Russians will all look up in the air, and then we can start shooting.
There you go.
There was a meteorite that fell on the Borodino battlefield like a day or three before the battle. It was like a sign from heaven.
Aha. Take that any way you want, I guess.
Yep.
Cool. Well, we've got some meteorites that are going to get lobbed around at each other. So I guess it's fire phase is the next thing on the list.
Yeah.
Simultaneous fire. So we want to start over on the west and work our way to the east, or how do we want to handle that?
I think that's a normal cadence, isn't it?
Yep.
If we wanted to super accelerate it, we could split into two game rooms and have one go east to west and the other go west to east, or we could just all hang and do it all together.
I'd like to see what happens.
Yeah. It's more fun to do together. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So let's start out over there where there's a whole bunch of stuff out on the west side of the map.
Westernmost shot, I think, which is this unit shooting at the French battalion in front of it. We can exchange fire, Robert. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. I got 12 versus your 9. That's 1-1. I missed.
I've got the same. No.
Nope. Now, that's an assault. This group here will shoot at the square combined with these two artillery batteries up here. They have 40 It's
No.
6-1 down here.
Oh, okay.
It's 6-1 plus 2. 52.
That's
Probably
6 to
a couple.
1.
Two
A
hits.
52 is 2 hits.
So they're up to 4 hits.
So they can't be square anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess they would need to make a
They
morale check?
disorder coming out of the square,
Ah,
and then they make a morale check with with minus 12 on it. That's going to be bad minuses on that check.
Oh, yeah, they're
yeah. So,
Okay.
so they're routed, aren't they now?
Yeah, they just get to shoot back before they go. But let me do the ricochet. Ricochet is through to here with 14 versus 8. That's 1.5 to 1. It's a hit on that group there. It's going to hit the infantry, not the artillery.
Okay. And they have to make a morale check too, right?
correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow.
So that hex is routed too now, right?
Yep.
That one's
So why don't you do
routed.
your fire back before you do the route?
Okay. So that would be
so this guy would have been 3 times 3, but divided by 3. So it's going to be a 3 to 9 on that one, I guess. And then he could fire 3 to 9 on that one. So it's a 1 to 3 shot here and a 1 to 3 shot there, if I understand.
The
it
second one is
correctly.
1 to 2 because it's column.
Oh, okay.
okay. 1 to 3 and 1 to 2. Okay, so 1 to 3 and 1 to 2.
Well, that's a hit.
Maybe not.
A 1 to
Maybe not.
2. No, you just missed it. You needed a 62.
Dar. So it goes like, okay. And oh, there's the fire shard. Okay. All right, and then these guys here, they had 3 increments still, so that's 9.
Yeah, but
Plus-
do they fire during this phase or do they fire during the assault phase?
They were being assaulted, so they
Oh,
don't
I
get-
forgot they're being assaulted.
So they just route.
So they route. And how about the artillery? What happens to the artillery?
It dies. It can't route. It dies.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's going to get. Yeah. What happens to the artillery? It's just alone in a square. It doesn't.
It was disordered. When it
Right.
disorders the second time, it routes.
Right.
So
but what does that mean to artillery which
it's
can't move? I mean,
eliminated. Unlimbered artillery, which routes, dies.
Okay.
So do you roll for what is there, a table for spiking the guns or?
Probably. Yeah.
I don't know about that part.
What is spiking the guns mean?
Yeah, so usually if the hex that has the artillery in it is overrun by infantry or cavalry, there's a table for spiking the guns, which would
But
mean
that's
that it
not what
wouldn't come back, but neither of those things actually happened.
It's probably not spiked.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a chance. It wasn't a melee.
Yeah.
So-
And that's why I'm wondering, like, what do you
Yeah.
do in a case
I
like
found
this?
a chart. It says the cause either has to be an infantry assault or a cavalry charge,
Okay.
and that's neither of them. So
Yeah.
Yep.
So it
It's
would
just
just go
eliminate-
to
goes to the box. Goes to the box.
goes to the battery box,
oh,
which is where the
time.
time. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we got a lot of artillery there. When do we get stuff back?
You need to get 3 of a kind.
Each hour, top of the hour.
Okay.
You've got
Oh.
3 horse batteries there, so you could probably bring one back. Yep.
Okay, so these guys go then have to go back 10, right?
They give you 10. Yeah, 10. Mm-hmm.
1, 2, and the rough is 2, so that's 4, and then up is +1, so that's 7, 9, 10.
No, there's no, not
No,
per.
there's for infantry. There's no there's those little slopes, those baby slopes, don't have any cost.
Oh, okay, so you go one more then.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
Okay, and then, oops. Go with them.
He took a hit routing out.
Oh, so he'd be dead then.
He's probably got 1 increment left.
Thought he was at 4. Oh no, he isn't. Okay.
Not quite dead
Okay.
yet.
No. So then these guys would be dead because they're leaving and they're going in front of these guys, so they're gone.
Yep.
I don't even know why I put the marker on it. Okay. One goes on the other.
Goes over to the core chart there, I guess.
What happens to those assaulting units when the unit leaves?
There's a whole thing about that. We'll do that in the assault phase.
Okay, cool.
Next shot is this battalion here is going to try to plink Grouchy just for the heck of it. Oh, no, he's assaulting. So he doesn't get through that. Okay. I think your Chastel battery is up next.
This battery still has some ammunition though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yep.
But he doesn't have a line of sight on this guy.
Nope.
So artillery is what, 16 defense or 14?
Yeah, 16.
Oh, I remembered that. That's amazing. Okay.
So that's probably not a valid target for you. You may not have valid targets. You don't have to shoot them. Ordinarily, you would have to shoot. Yep.
And this one, I don't think, this one would be what?
12.
Oh, no, that's 1 to 4. So they don't have a shot.
Right. Chastel does, though. Chastel
Yeah.
battery.
They can shoot at this guy.
And the infantry, disordered infantry, get to help on that.
They're what, thirded?
They're halved. So
Halved.
whatever their printed value is, half of that, it's probably going to be 4.
4.
Yeah. So you'll have 10 to 9.
Yeah.
So 1-to-1 shot.
1 to 1. Oh, that's a hit.
Well, that is definitely a hit.
Oh, and they're gone.
Not yet.
They took a hit up to 3 and they passed the morale check. They'll shoot back. They have 8.
Oh,
versus
you were
8.
you were.
He
off
was
of
at
the
2.
eight. He
Yeah.
was at 2. Oh, okay.
They missed the shot back.
Okay. And let me take some ammo off here.
You're winning that firefight. The artillery that you trundled up started making a difference.
Yeah. Then it's wide open. Just send those disordered guys forward.
They needed a little fire support. I think Dontuar's battery is the next one.
Yeah. So if I remember right, though, we combined those batteries to shoot at this one, which was, oh, one of those batteries is empty. The other battery would be at 1, 2, so that's long range. So that's 3, and then these guys are 1, 2, those are at long range too. So that's 9. So it's a 1-to-1 with a +2. No, that's a mess.
You're right. I got a bunch of heavy batteries. They have a very long range shot at this battery down here. That's 1.5 to 1 plus. They missed.
Okay.
Who's next? Now I got a tiny little blink battery that's here. It's going to try to shoot at this Italian unit down here. It missed. I'm all done.
All right, we're moving over to where I guess Mitch and Michael would be exchanging gunnery.
Yeah, Mitch, we'll start with you.
You want to start with me, is what you said?
Yeah.
All right, 1-to-1 on the forward guns here. I'm sorry, I'll be flashing here. Is that right? Yeah,
What?
we'll do 1-to-1 there.
What's shooting on there?
The first 3 back here,
Okay.
and I guess got a +5. Here we go. So a hit.
Yep, that's a hit.
Does he have a hit on him already? No, he does not. Oh, there we go. Increments lost. Okay.
All right, the next battery we'll fire at this 5.
No.
I think
Good.
so. This 5-7 here. 16 to
It's probably what, 10 in the woods or something?
Oh, rather
Nine.
making
1.5 to 1. Not a +1, so 35 at 1.5 to 1.
Miss.
Close. Close. All right. Let me mark some ammunition. Take your shot.
Okay. All right. So these two. An artillery leader can only get 1 hex adjacent on one side.
He can combine 2 hexes together.
All right. So these two are going to fire on. Oh, let's go for your skirmisher right there. I believe this is a.
It's going to
1
be
to
4
2.
plus. It's going to
I'm just
be
gonna roll.
7.
I think it's very low. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. Okay. All right. So we burned through his ammo. Decrease. Okay. Decrease. And then he is obligated 3, 6, 9. He's gonna fire right there. Yep, max range. We're gonna go right there. All right.
Michael, you may not have a shot there. What's your firepower?
It's 3 actually.
3
You can't-
versus 16 defense. That's not enough. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to switch over to the infantry firing.
Okay.
All right. So the guards and the the light are going to combine and fire right on these boys right here.
That's why the top's
So that's what.
Do you want to? Is it working
16,
at all?
Yeah, the bottom is.
So
Here.
16 and 9.
But that's why.
And Mitch, I believe you're
You want to
defending.
repair this oven?
Hey, Matt.
I just
Matt,
muted. I just muted him.
Okay. All right. So it's 25 to 9. So it's what, 2 to 1? Yeah, 2 to 1. Just a little bit short.
2.5 1.
Oh yeah. Thank you. And there's all right. It's melee, so no bonus. All right. Are you freaking kidding me?
That's a miss any way you slice it.
And that takes care of my firing. I can't believe that. Anything else, Mitch?
Oh, I was just thinking about whether I would make a combined fire or 2 separate fires here, down here. So these guys are defending at 9 in here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll combine against this one for. I think it's going to be.
You can't.
16.
I don't think
That's
you
not
can.
a supported line.
Yeah, I think you need to have that guy needs to be in line to be a supported line.
Oh, okay, so they can't combine fire.
Nope.
No, because
Right,
he's not
right.
facing the right way.
All right, 1 to 1. Miss, and then 4 to 1 to 3, 1 to whatever, it doesn't matter. 65 might be a hit on that.
No, that's a
on the
hit.
second.
So
green
wait.
So
you're
that's a hit
talking-
on that guy.
These guys firing on these guys?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So that is unit increments lost. Now I need to make a morale check. I could have just
He's already got a hit
modified.
on him.
Yeah. All right.
3 hits or 2
25.
hits.
I think that's going to
So-
be a failure.
Yeah, because he's half dead.
Is
Yeah,
that 3
that's-
hits or 2 hits?
Yeah, he's up to 3 hits.
That's a 3 match.
Okay, I saw 2 and a 1. Okay.
All right. So let's delete that. Increase, and he is disordered.
Michael, I have some good news for you. When those 2 battalions fired at that grenadier, it wasn't a fire defense of 9. It was a fire defense of 6 because you have the flank on it. So that actually was a hit there. You had a 4 to 1 attack, not a 2.5 to 1 attack.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And a 15's a hit.
That was a hit there.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. It looks like they passed. All right. We're moving down the line here.
I don't think I have a shot with the Emperor's guns.
Hey, Mitch,
Now we're talking. Yes?
were those grenadiers already at 2?
Oh, they went to 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought they were thinking they were already at 2. Never mind. Excuse me.
I have 18.
Shoot at the central battery.
Not the
Soviet.
horses.
I think you should shoot at the central 12-pounder.
Okay, we'll do. I got it.
With the big guns, right? Yermolov.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 18, 1 to 1, plus 5.
Nope.
That is not enough.
Well, you don't have 18 anyways.
It's 19
have-
and a half. 19.
Yeah, because he's got 6 plus 9 plus 5.5.
4.5.
Oh, 4.5.
Where was that shooting at?
Here.
So yeah,
'Cause that one can't shoot it there. Doesn't matter, he missed anyways, but
Why couldn't he shoot that way?
or can this excuse me, no. All right, yes, he can. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's facing a weird way.
Yeah, if you're in the Fletch, you have the facings of the little brown lines. So, all right, David, you get to shoot back. You've got a battery down there or two.
Yeah, somewhere down there too. Let's see if all right. One of these is out of ammo, so I got 28. And that with a +6, and we'll shoot it this big one.
Okay, throw your dice.
All right, so 1.5 to 1 +6. That probably is
56.
enough.
And 1.5 to 1, probably. Yep, you needed a 42 or better.
If I remember right, that's right at range, so. All right. All right. I'm going to mark some ammo off of that.
And Mitch, you need to make a morale check for that hex, I guess.
Oh.
It's going to be a 26. They pass. All right, it's moving over to my neck of the woods. What do I have that can fire? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I guess this guy here could fire at that target there. And that would be what, 5 to 14, so 1 to 3. Here we go. Let's see what we get. 65. That's an exciting shot. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess I don't know if it's going to roll where it would roll. Let's get out the little line thingy-madoodle. I guess this hex here would be the next one it would roll through. So that's going to be 5 to
6.
6. Okay, here we go. That's a miss.
Did that even have a line of sight on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I guess.
Yeah, the small lunettes and things like that don't block line of sight. It's only the great readout that blocks line of sight, unless I read something incorrectly. All right, now we move over to shooting at other stuff. And what do we have here? I've got this battery here. These guys can fire at something. What can we get a bead on? How do we do this? Do we draw the line from the central hex, or is it got to have a line from all three of them?
Got to have a line from all three.
Okay. All right. So got to figure out what I can. I think I was trying to see if I could hit this hex. So I know two of them can. It's just a question of whether the easternmost one can or not.
They can all hit the forward hex, and then you get a pass through on variously these two units. But it may be better to take a direct shot.
So give me a second here. Let me see. All right. I'm having some challenges here with my trying to draw the little line. Okay. So this there's cavalry there. Yeah, so I guess the only one I could get all three on as a bead would be either this hex here or that hex there. I can't shoot at this hex with all three because this one's in the way.
If you shoot the brush, it won't ricochet through, so that's probably inferior shot.
Right, right. So I guess we will just take a shot at that.
You could also split it conceivably into two shots. One at the cavalry or something with maybe not. Maybe there is no split shot.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I just don't know.
This one might be able to hit the cav and ricochet to the limbered battery while the other two shoot
at that
at
one. Okay.
So that's probably,
That's a good idea.
Yep.
So, okay. So we'll do this first one here where these guys are going to shoot at that one. So that will be a 1-to-1 shot with a +5. And that is going to be a miss. And then here we'll have I guess that's what it's going to be, a 1-to-1 shot there without any pluses. And that's a hit. And I don't know whose cavalry that is. Oh, it's David's. Okay. All right, they passed their check, and then I guess we're going to roll through. We would have a 1.5-to-1 shot on those guys, with a -6, correct? So that's going to be a 42. I think at 1.5-to-1.
Just a hit.
Yep, a single hit. And that's, I think, Rick, I think that's your gun. Okay, and then David, you've got those guns down there that can fire?
Yeah.
Pass for everybody.
Yeah,
I took mine.
I updated
Okay,
my
thank you.
stuff, yeah.
I'm sorry.
And ammo removal, but okay. Let's see. All right, so I've got 14 1 to 1.5, and the only one they can both see, I think, is this one here. So we will do a shot on that.
Okay.
Don't I've got +4 on there, so that's 1 to 1.5. That should be a hit on that.
Okay. Which one were you shooting at?
At the leftmost one, that was the only one that both of them.
This one here? Okay, so that's a 56, right, with the +5. And you had 1.5 to 1? Or 1 to 1.5?
1 to 1.5.
Okay, yeah, 56 is a hit. All right, let's update that. Good, and let's make a morale check. Oh, they're going to be disordered. Let's find a marker for that. Okay, cool.
Okay, I gotta find that's their first shot, so both of those. All right, I gotta find an ammo thing.
You should be able to just create a wagon, right?
So ignition. Decrease.
All right. I don't know that Lorenstern's got much to shoot at. Everybody's kind of shielded, or they're behind the brush, or whatever the case is, right?
Well,
You could ricochet these two probably if you wanted.
Yeah, because that's just right at the edge of the range, practically.
So Ricochet doesn't go through brush?
Nope.
Nope.
How did this guy get disordered then?
I don't know why
That's
that was
wrong
that was
unit.
So can you
that was
shoot through brush?
Should be
Can you
here.
shoot- Who should be there?
The disorder.
And the step ones.
no. This guy got
no.
shot during the
Got shot
during the
when?
artillery shit phase,
Yeah.
and then he moved. So he was over here, part of the screen that was screening David's guns, and so the artillery
Okay,
chit
he just
came
moved
up.
back.
They got hit, and then David's chit came up later, and then he moved this part of the cavalry back here. So no,
So I would have a
The
shot.
The ricochet came from here.
yeah. So I shot this guy, and then the ricochet went through that way.
But here's a question as it relates to the idea of ricochet.
No, mine's fine. I was just worried about this guy. I didn't remember how he got
Yeah,
shot.
no, he got
I
shit
question
hit during the.
If you fire here, does it in fact ricochet since the following X is not brush?
No,
No.
it stops the brush X.
Okay.
All right, Karen, what's your shots?
Yeah, no, I'll save my powder.
I'm gonna shoot your disordered guy.
Okay, cool. I'll shoot back at you too. Go ahead and roll.
8 factors times 3, 24 to 10, so 2 to 1.
Sounds
that
about right. Throw your dice.
Take a hit.
2 to 1. That is going to be a hit any way you slice it. All right, let's go ahead and update that. And let me go ahead and fire back. Let me see what his value is. I can't read it since it's got the marker on it. All right,
That is
let's
a bit
take
of a
that marker
flaw.
off. Yeah. So he's got a value of 6, so he's going to be 3 So guess what? 3 to 9 at either one of these guys. But we'll go for this one because that's a bigger stack, right? You've got, what, 10 there? So I get a +3.
Their fire defense is probably 8.
Oh, 6. Yeah, because
7
they're too
because of
big.
Yep.
Okay. Well, okay, so it's a 1 to 2.5 instead of a 1 to 3 shot then. But I get a +3. Here we go. 55. That was a great roll, but no good. All right, let's make my morale check for my guy. 22. He is a 25. He is going to rout.
What was your odds?
I thought I have 3 fire value to his 7 fire value.
7 or 6?
Well, it's 7 because he's in the whatever it is.
Brush.
And you rolled a 55?
A 55 with a +3 doesn't get me to the 64 that I need.
Well, you're 1 to 2.5. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
He's
quite
a-
1 to 2. So
He's not fire defense is 3 or 6. I'm sorry.
right. Okay, so then this guy's going to lose 1 because he's moving out of a zone of control, correct?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So let me flip him over, get the markers on top of him as well. Okay, all right. So he's got to move away. So the first hex he's got to go to has got to go right here, I guess, right? Because he's got to move away from this guy. He's got to move away from the nearest ones, which are these 2 here, right?
Yep.
Okay, so then
Could he go to
gotta
either hex depending on how you want to do it or not?
Well, he was only in 1 hex, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he's
he can't go to that one because it puts
yeah,
him-
because that put me next to the other guy.
Oh,
So I got to
closer.
go
Got
there.
it.
Yep.
Okay.
If I were in 2 hexes, then I'd have a choice, but I don't. So then the next one he's got to go there, right? That puts him away. And then the next one is there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now at this point, I don't know how it goes. If I go here, then 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm now 4 away. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Gets me over here. So I've got to go through this guy and make a check for him and that guy to make a check for him. So for the horses, they're going to be disordered.
Yeah, it's a -18 modifier, which is no fun.
Oh, for everybody or just for the horses?
So it's -12 for the routing unit, and you're also a different core. So that's another -6.
Okay, cool. All right, so let me put a marker on him. Okay, and then that guy will roll for him. Now,
It's elite. The next one's elite, so no negative modifiers at all.
oh, okay. And so he passes. All right, well, that was exciting.
Eric, I gotta ask, did you have to route through the purple hussar?
I don't think so because I moved here and then around this way.
Was that a correct move to the right there?
Yeah, I think so because I'm moving away from these are the nearest units, right?
Are there any other units now that are nearer as you move away?
No, because everybody's further away from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
4. See, Brennan may be correct because this is not further away from this unit. From there to there.
And
Oh.
from this one.
And from that one too, yep.
Well, from here, can I go there then?
Possibly. But how about that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it said you have to move away
Yeah.
from 1 hex from the nearest unit. So if
Okay.
this is the nearest, these are the nearest units.
Well, these are all at 4.
It's everything that's 4. Yeah. So it goes through the purple hussar.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll roll for them. All right, so that's what going to be a 21. And they pass. Okay. So then
And-
after that, I guess they could
yeah.
go through that gap and then around this way, right?
Yeah, but at that point, probably yes. You may end up at that gap rather than this one, but you can look. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go over there. I mean, this I'm starting to get a better handle of it because it looks like it works a little bit more like bar. Would you agree, David? For the retreat stuff, that it's more like bar.
Yeah, I think it's a little closer to.
Yeah, because it seems to be
Little
you're just moving like in a direct line kind of a thing until you get far enough away. Then you have a little bit of wiggle room.
So
That's
Okay.
right.
Cool. All right. Well, that's done. More shooting. We got some stuff further out here. Is there anything else you've got? I've got some of my skirmishers that can skirm at you.
The elite grenadier and the hussars did a sweet job of standing in the face of that route. Good job, guys.
Okay.
I mean, they're elite.
They are indeed.
It's good to be elite. It's good to be elite.
It's good to be the man. Yeah, do your skirmish attacks.
Okay.
Well, no, one guy there.
I've got this one here, so he's going to be 4 to, I don't know what your limbered artillery in the brush
6
is.
usually, or no?
In the brush,
I don't know.
Limbered is 8.
Oh, nice.
So it is
Very nice.
Yeah, so it's a 1 to 2 shot. Here we go. 55. That was another beautiful roll, but not
Oh my
good enough.
God.
Not good enough.
You
All
hit one of my
right.
hats.
I know. We took a couple of swipes at the feathers in your hat there. All right. Let's see. Can we get everybody on this guy over
Why
here?
can't you skirmish this guy?
I am going to skirmish him,
Oh,
but I'm
okay.
just wondering if I'm going to throw in my guns with it.
Got it.
Yeah, because I have to see if I can get everybody shooting at him.
Yeah.
And I don't think.
Big meeting.
Yeah, this guy can't because that guy's still blocking it. But these other two can. So that's going to be 10. That would be 14. 14 to what's your defense?
Well, only half of the one.
6.
Yeah. Half
Oh,
of it.
okay.
And defense is 6.
Okay, so it would be
5 plus 3. It'd be 8 from the artillery
8,
and whatever.
12. Okay, so it's a 2 to 1 there when we add in the skirmishy stuff. Here we go. A 36, a 2 to 1. That should be enough for a hit.
Yay, he's dead. Thank you.
All right.
I didn't want him to rout.
You might have some roll through.
It would have been bad.
Well, let's see. If I did, where would it roll through to? I would have then 8 to 8. I'd have a 1 to 1 there, I guess, with the roll through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope. I've only got a range of 9. So that
Okay.
was the maximum.
Weird. How did I
go.
plan that?
It's all part of your evil plan.
Not very evil, but it's a plan.
It's slightly evil. It's slightly evil. Okay. All right.
I'm learning from you.
Okay. Well, go ahead and shoot your artillery then.
Eric, did you skirmish against the limbered horse artillery also?
I did, and I did not
Yep.
roll well enough.
I will.
Yeah. Okay.
My guns can't shoot because the guy's still in front of them.
Yeah, in theory, yes, it's
Yeah.
simultaneous.
Yeah. And the other guy.
See, they were kind of shooting sideways, I thought, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got
So this
6 to 9 there.
Oh no, I'm not gonna shoot him.
Oh, okay.
This guy is gonna shoot there and combine with the skirmisher.
Well, he can't. The skirmisher.
That's 2 separate attacks. Yeah,
Yeah,
skirmisher's off the hex.
Right. The skirmisher can attack that
Oh, they have to be
hex.
at the same
Yeah,
hex. Got it.
yeah.
Okay.
Because you're
Well,
shooting
that's
at the
not
hex,
nearly as
not the
exciting.
unit.
Yeah.
So you got a 1 to 1 on that one.
Yeah, I'll just do that.
Hey, that's a hit. Any way you slice it. All right, I think that's their first. Nope, that's not their first loss. They already had a loss. Let's go ahead and delete that and update this one. Cool. And let's make a check for those boys. 36, they're happy.
And then these guys will shoot at that hex.
Yep.
41.
No, like because you're 6 to
Yeah.
whatever. Now what I can do is I can have these two guys skirmish back at you at 8 to whatever. I mean, what's the defense in the thing?
Skirmish cavalry.
13.
Probably
13.
14.
13.
Yeah.
13.
So it's still 1 to 2. And that's a miss. All right, and I think that takes care of all the fire.
Yeah.
Out in all the parts of the universe. Did you update your ammunition?
No.
Ah.
Couple of assaults.
Yep, where are the assaults? Over on your side of the map.
Yep. This unit will assault the empty. It has to take the empty hex. It can now launch another assault. It will join the second battalion that's attacking Grouchy. So there's 2 battalions attacking here. They'll fire first. I suppose they roll to close first, right? So
yeah, everybody rolls the close.
This one
first.
rolls. Left one rolls. Probably yes. Yep. And the right one rolls, and that's maybe a no. That's a no. So he disorders. No, wait a minute. I take it back. They don't actually roll yet. What happens is the artillery, which has no ammo, goes away.
What do you mean goes away?
Yeah, it's destroyed. It routes. Artillery with no ammo routes. So it's eliminated.
Oh, so you don't even need to roll for anything, do you?
That's right. It happens. The elimination of those units happens before the roll.
Okay.
Yep. So Grouchy has
Well,
to move to the nearest unit. Yep.
Well, I guess because all it means if you failed your roll, you still come in disordered, right?
Right.
That's why there's no roll.
They're going to be on the right. Okay. Now they both occupy the hex. Now they launch another melee against the artillery.
So how do they do that? Please.
Right. This unit meleeed this hex, and it was immediately routed.
Okay.
So they take the hex and can launch one more melee.
So where is this in the rules? Just so I know.
Or something, or?
Morale check happens if that unit had ammo or something or been infantry. There would be a morale check. If it was a skirmisher or cavalry that retreated before combat, or artillery with no ammo, if the hex is emptied before they get there, you do the morale check afterwards, or no morale check, as it were, for that hex. The morale check will come here.
Okay.
So, yep.
So then you just roll once for the stack, right? Instead
Right.
of for each
So
of them
now the
individually.
stack
Is
will
this
roll.
the mayhem rolls, or what? Mayhem?
It's mayhem, but not assault impetus. It's mayhem. Mayhem is when the hex empties in front of you.
And that's what happened there, right?
Right. Yep. That's right. Okay. So
the automatic advance step 1.
Yeah. So now they'll roll, and let's see. Here we go. They
now-
gag. Yeah. They disorder.
Okay, and so then now
Now
Robert
you roll to
rolls.
stand.
I roll to stand. Okay.
Well, you got a +4 for Grouchy, so that
So they
means
stand.
that they stand, right?
Stand.
Yeah.
Yep. So you get
Brennan, quick question on
Sure.
your assault for the roll that you just made to close. Is the number based off of 1 hex away modifier, or is it from your original hex that you started the assault?
original.
But you had two different ones, so
Yeah, but he
This is
rolled a
the- whatever
16,
on this-
so
You use the worst of them.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious. Thank you.
Yep.
So you get to roll a single die, Robert.
for what?
Just roll a single
It's-
die. It's going to affect
Column
potentially
shift.
a column shift on the assault table.
Oh, okay.
A 3.
Nope.
I don't think that does anything.
Right? Now we exchange fire. You're doubled.
Double. So 28 points.
Yep.
So you got a 4 to 1.
And you get a 2-column shift for
28 versus 8, 3 to 1.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because you're
And 2 column shifts, 4 to 1, 5 to 1.
With a +2.
5 to 1 plus 2.
+2.
Not much at all.
That's probably good enough for a hit, though. Yes, a single hit.
Okay, there's no morale check because it's an assault. Now I'll shoot at you. I have 3 versus your 16. That's not viable. So now we fight. What is your defense strength?
4.
Okay, I have whatever mine is, but it's half because I'm disordered. So I have 6, 8, 6 and 8, 14, half, 7. You got
4.
4. It's 1.5 to 1 minus 7. 1.5 to 1 at 41, 36. 1.5 to 1, 36.
So that is a blank.
So I guess we go to the firefight for round 2.
So now you guys make a morale check again?
Did you figure in Grouchy adding -5?
No, Grouchy doesn't
He's
add
a
in
cavalry.
anything.
He's -1 for infantry.
Oh, do you
Oh,
add him
1,
even though
okay.
he's not stacked with infantry?
That's an infantry melee.
Oh, okay.
The
But he
artillery
has
or infantry. Yeah,
Okay.
infantry or artillery melee. If cavalry's for cav melee,
Right.
infantry or artillery would be the one.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess it's the firefight column. Now we roll to close again, only you roll first. So
And what am I rolling for? Just to roll to stand again?
roll
Yeah.
to stand again, yep.
Okay.
So they stand. And then I roll to close again.
But do you?
I think I do, yeah. And their morale's not all that hot. It's -6. -3 for disorder and -3 for the overstack. So they rolled 25, they passed. Okay. So now we fight again on the firefight column. Actually, we exchange fire.
Did we each take a loss in that blank or no?
No, that's cavalry.
That's
so
cavalry.
now I think we exchange fire again. Which is gonna hurt.
So another 5 to 1.
Do you still have ammo, by the way?
Let's see. What did I have left? I have 1. This is the last shot.
Last shot.
Wait. Does defensive fire use ammunition is the question.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Oh.
Opportunity fire does not. Defensive fire does. Okay. So yeah, you fire. You got 5 to 1 again.
No.
Proceed to step 4 for
Yep.
round 2.
So that's a 62.
Step 4.
62. That's probably 2 hits, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of those charge the muzzle of the cannon. All right, that battalion was fresh going in, but it ain't fresh now. And then we're into the. I guess I shoot at you, but I don't have enough firepower to do anything. So it's the firefight column in assault, and which is the far left one.
And now you get
Just, I want to be clear. The Grouchy unit started with 2 ammo, so now it is at 0.
Yeah.
It's at 0 now. Yeah, I should just take it off.
So
41.
if Brennan can make his morale check, it will automatically be eliminated.
Nope, it'd be the next attacking unit who does it. He gets a 21. He disorders. So this battalion dies. And well, he went in fresh. He challenged the guns, and this one routes. Okay. So it's going to route 5. 6, 8, 10, 12. Something like that. And this guy's dead. Bye-bye. That was pretty exciting, though. Wow.
That was interesting.
Remind me not to charge any more artillery, even on a follow-through. They could have just done nothing, right? Then they would be sitting there in front of the cannons, but it wouldn't have been nearly as bad. That was an overly aggressive move.
Well, you came with 1 morale check to knock it end.
That's true, actually, right? If they could have disordered or something, it was a trade-off, but that was an expensive trade. Yeah, fascinating. Okay.
Do we have any other assaults?
That's all I remember.
That's it. Disorders.
All right, disorder checks.
I've got a few.
Let's see. I've got one here, and I believe that guy is automatic. Yes.
All right, we got that chap there. He's happy.
Let's see this guy here.
That guy there.
Oh, he's still disordered. Damn.
He is going to be fine.
That's a -3. God damn it.
And they still come back in column, right? If they're infantry.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's rotate this guy. All right.
What the hell is with my rolling, man?
All right, next guy. 32 minus 3. Let's see what his
5, but I have an
value
officer.
Did I hear that right? Did they come
All
back in
right.
column?
This guy.
Disorder.
Yeah, the infantry come back in column, and cavalry come back in
Line.
In line. Okay, so he's okay.
We roll for PGD next, right?
Yeah, I still have a few more to roll for.
We're rolling
Nope, they're going to stay.
Rolling for disorders.
Disorders first.
Robert.
Oh no.
So,
I don't think I
This
have
one
anybody
here.
disordered. They're just either routed or dead.
all right. That
Dead is worse than disordered.
What is the PGD modifier?
-6.
-6.
Okay.
It's -12 when you're galloping, stampeding over somebody, but it's -6 on the rally.
Okay, I got Viata down here. Oh, finally. That was like something in the making there.
all right.
That's my only. Oh, wait, these guys are too close, so they can't.
Then they keep routing.
So
1, 2,
they
3,
do it. They
4.
move their route movement this turn already. What, 11? So do they go another 11?
Yep. Those first two routes are basically what get you your distance from the enemy.
Okay, definitely. Okay. 1, 8. I think I have anybody else.
Michael, you've got a couple of routed groups. One doesn't have a leader, so can't rally, just keeps routing. And the other one has a leader, can try to rally.
Yeah. Are we done with the disorders?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm done with
All
disorders.
right, I'll roll for this guy. 25 minus 5, and he's good. If the top one passes, what's the modifier for the bottom one, or is it an automatic pass?
+3 for the next one.
+3. All right, let's roll for bottom.
You don't have to roll. It's the same roll. Use the same dice roll.
Oh, use the same dice roll. Oh, okay. Well, then he passes.
Like it would only not pass if it had a much worse morale. Like if you were stacked with Moscow militia or something, it would
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
hey, take it easy. With
I
that
disagree with
militia.
that.
North Korean Moscow militia.
There you go. Those are our favorite.
So is it this guy has to move full movement or just into the brush?
Michael, he has to move full movement until he's 15 hexes away, and then he stops.
So you couldn't have rolled for those other guys because these guys are too close.
They have a leader.
Oh, okay. Oh, these.
But let's just double check their morale because the top unit was halved, so it's -6, and it's routed, so that's -12. 22. What's their morale rating?
25.
So they didn't actually rally.
Oh, okay.
But the bottom one might. What's the bottom one's morale rating?
23.
So the bottom one passed actually. But
There's
the
a -3 for the failure of the top one.
Yep, but he should probably pass. He's got good morale. And he didn't have the -6 problem. So the lower battalion actually passed, and the upper one keeps routing.
Oh, the leader continues with the PGD, yeah?
He can. No, I guess he does. Yeah, he swept away with it, and then he moves in the leader phase. He moves to return.
Alright. Okay. And so the other one is right at 15.
Then
15 hexes.
which one is that?
He's right at 15.
Then he doesn't have to do anything. Doesn't have to do anything.
Okay. And so he moves. So this stack moves full movement, though, right?
Yeah, until it reaches 15, then it looks for any covered hex like brush or woods.
So like right here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, easy peasy. All right, so these guys go right there. All right. My 2 PGDs are
I
trapped out.
think they're a little close to the Cossack in the far northwest corner.
This guy right here.
Yeah.
No,
north of
that's
him. North of him. This guy.
Him.
1, 2,
Alright,
3,
so
4,
3,
5, 6, 7, 8,
6,
9,
9,
13,
12,
14,
15 is right there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Cool.
Missed it by that much. Yeah, go ahead and put, I guess,
So-
a route
So
marker on it.
the other guy who was routed, if he's 15 away, then he's allowed to rally.
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
Also, double check your distance to the guards battalion and the watermill by the pond.
Oh, him.
Yep.
Yeah, I was measuring enough of these guys. Yeah, good call. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. So he goes.
So they both keep going a little further back. Yep.
Yes. All right. I gotta move. And then the leader has to move back during the leader phase, or can he stay and try to rally next turn?
He can stay and rally the next turn.
Do whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. So if they have the okay, cool. So I guess this guy recovers, and you go straight from disordered or routed to good morale, right?
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So. All right. So I got one routed here, and boom. Okay. Yeah, they will be fine.
Well, they don't have a leader. They got to move.
Oh, you're right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
They got to get 15 away.
Yep. I just deleted my.
Eric, were the bar rules written by the same rules author as Regs 30?
I think
this is
Regs
nearest
30
redundant.
was influenced by Bar, because Bar was written in the sort of mid 90s, and so Bar might have been influenced by Regs 23.
Yeah.
And then that influenced the success of that probably influenced Regs 30. So.
And they were starting to use a lot of those concepts.
Yes.
Yeah. The chits and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Bar ends up with way more linear combat, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. Considerably more. So then how does David move this guy? Because there's an enemy there and there's an enemy there. How does that work?
Oh, that's
He's
not
gotta
an
be-
enemy here.
Well, why
Oh, is it?
it's yeah, that's
Oh, it
that
is.
is
It is.
that's
I
a
apologize.
That's a Russian unit. I mean, unless it got moved accidentally, but
No, it's right. It's where it's supposed to be. Don't worry.
I'm going back. I got to go back and then into the woods and whatever, you know.
no, well, that's what I was curious how that worked for you.
I was just figuring. I'm just looking up my movement.
He's only going to go one hex because he only has movement points for one hex.
So
Yeah.
Mitch, did that Russian cav try to roll disorder recovery?
Which one?
Dyatkov.
Here?
Yeah, because he's not adjacent to.
No, I
anybody.
didn't. I didn't try to roll. I didn't roll for him. That's a pass.
So he's back. Not that it makes a whole lot of difference, but.
And how should I face him? I guess towards this hole.
South or southeast. Yeah, the black slope will cover your flank to some degree.
Yeah, I mean you can't be charged that way. You can
Thank
probably
you.
take the
Did not
charge
catch
marker
that.
off of him. All right. I think has everybody done everything that needs to be done yet? Okay, is there anything else, or do we advance the clock?
Let's advance the clock and let's do our 2 rolls for Napoleon and the.
Rick, please roll for Dave.
All right, so wait, it's 11 o'clock. Yeah, so we would have check to see if people are on a morale level, right?
I know I'm not on a morale level.
Unfortunately, Robert, I think you are on a morale level.
Oh no, I'm not.
You've got one guy that's routed. So yeah, Eugene's on level 2, and that's going to be permanent because you've got 15 units that are dead.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so all of your morale checks from here on out are going to be with a -3.
Yeah.
And is that just for the infantry, or is that for everything that's part of the corps?
Infantry only.
Okay. All right, and then Junot has got 2 that are routed, and I don't know that you have anything else, right? Junot has a smaller corps, right? Junot is what, the 7th Corps? 8th Corps.
8th Corps. He has to have 4 to get up to the level 1.
Yeah. So halfway there. Got something to aim for there, Mitch. I mean, Michael.
Depends on who's doing the shooting, I guess.
Let's see. And then as far as Russians go, no, we're fine for the moment. So, okay. That takes care of that. We got a charge marker over here that probably needs to come off.
Yeah, charge markers can come off now.
Yeah.
And any tire that wasn't under a charge marker
Can be updated, yeah. I don't think that affects any of my guys. Or any of this other cavalry that was doing stuff this turn. You've still got a charge marker on that guy, David.
Yeah, I'm searching my stats.
Oh, okay.
I want to just make sure. So the reason that we didn't have to route through the additional brush hex was because it didn't have 8 movement points to route.
So remember, you're increased by 50%. So he would have a movement of 21, right?
Yeah.
But then it's thirded because he's exhausted. So
Which
then
takes
it's
you right
just a
down to
movement of
7.
7. And so it costs 4 to move into the brush and costs 7 to move in the woods. So he doesn't have enough movement to move through 2 brush hexes or the brush hex and the forest, if that's what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
The brush is a slog for cavalry.
And there's no rule like he has to come down. If he had no requirement that he take a route that he could use his movement points.
No, the only rule is that they've got to be 1 hex further away than they were before, right?
There's no rule to think if there's a path that they could use more movement points.
No, in the other rules, in the other La Bataille rules, like 5th edition and Premier and whatnot, they do have that where the units are trying to take the most expeditious route back. So by that token, the most expeditious route would be this way, right?
Yeah.
Kind of along this way through the clear, right? But that's not how Regs 30 is.
Got it.
Therefore, you just have to be moving away 1 hex further away, kind of a thing. So it's just the retreat rules in pretty much every game we've ever played that have retreat rules. There's always like, well, what do we do here? What do we do here? So this is actually a little bit more straightforward. Because then you don't have to think about, well, this is the least expensive train, but I'm trying to avoid my own units. And, they usually have, like in 5th edition, you've got all these caveats. You're going to try to do this, but then you're going to, you'll avoid this if you can, and blah, blah, blah. And this is just, very cut and dry. So it's kind of like bar, at least from what I've experienced with bar, where you're just moving in a straight line away from where the action happened.
Thank you.
Yeah. And with bar, though, it doesn't say you have to be, 1 hex further away each time you move. It's just you're moving your movement, and you're actually moving 4 hexes. You're not moving 4 movement points or 6 movement points. It's 4 hexes straight back in this direction for infantry, and it's 6 hexes in whatever direction for the cavalry. So it's a pretty straightforward. All right.
Shall we go to separate rooms and do command?
Yep. We'll figure that out.
Rick, you want to roll my French random roll?
See, what are you aiming for? A 15 or something again?
65.
Do you want me to?
Hey, did we already roll for the Russian random?
I don't think we did.
Okay.
They got a 54 on their Napoleon, so he's going to be fully engaged. I'm going to guess.
All right, here we go. 16. I don't even know what that one is. Is it Kutuzov is taking a break, or people are having a fight, a fist fight?
Suicidal.
Oh, again? Okay.
Good thing he wasn't in that melee last time.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that my unit that was out there bugged out, because I was worried if that group of Jaegers stayed there, he'd surround it. And then if I got a roll like that, I would be in trouble. So
No, they have to assault us, though, just to be clear.
correct. Well, I'm sure they'll be doing that. That, I think, is what Mr. DeVue is planning on doing on my end of the universe.
I had one minor mechanical note about some of the action last turn. Mitch, somewhere one of the French cavalry units charged your grenadier probe. And one of your grenadier battalions routed and died.
Yes.
Did it try to form a square and fail in disorder?
No, it just took it got a huge roll on the melee chart.
I see. Now, had that grenadier disordered in its roll to stand?
It disordered, yes.
Okay. Do you want to just look quickly at the unit that was destroyed that way and see what you see? Flip it over and look at its morale.
Oh, I rolled an 11 or something, though.
That's the only result that would have caused it to fail because it had 11 morale. So, okay.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible.
That was just bad luck. Okay, right. There you go. Yep. So, they're designed to stand in those situations.
Yeah,
and they have the morale to do it.
It was like, are you kidding me? Type stuff. It was like,
Bad luck.
Yeah.
Oh, well. We got a little mushy with our counter battery fire that turn. We did okay. We tagged one of their 12-pounders that Michael has in 8th Corps.
Okay.
And we tagged one of their 12-pounders that David has, maybe 2 of them, and a bunch of them ran out of ammo. So net it's okay. Sooner or later, they're going to do hits back, which they did.
Well, did you tag one of Dave's? I don't see any of
I
his 12 pounders.
tagged one of
Oh,
Michael's.
yeah. I don't think you hit one of Dave's in
And
this
earlier,
fire
in,
phase.
no, in the previous fire phase, I got one.
I meant in the turn, during the turn.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We tagged Dave twice, maybe over 2 turns. So, and they've discovered in Drew O's battery that they can cushion the counter battery fire a little bit by putting small artillery on top of the big artillery,
Yep.
which absorbs hits. That's a drag. The other thing that we're a little mushy on is that instead of us having 3 batteries firing at Sorbier, who has 3 targets, we've only seemed to got 1. If we're firing 1 battery versus 1 battery, the French have slightly better leaders and better firepower. They're going to win, which they're started to do.
Right.
We win the counter battery by making sure we have, when they've got a 3 hex battery, that we've got at least 2 heavy batteries and if necessary 1 light battery, otherwise 3 heavy batteries, so we can hit every single hex of target.
Yeah, we're just not, the way he's got stuff situated, I can't reach him with Kutayazov's battery. And
so he's been shielding effectively,
Yep.
like Star Trek style. Okay.
Yep.
So if you can do 2 things, you can either fade back with Kutayazov or you can shift them. So you basically want to avoid the shielding and be sure you're scoring hits if you can. Yep. Ditto with Lowenstern.
Yes.
And if you can't score hits, you can always backpedal.
True.
Because if they come forward out around the corner of the brush, they will have less cover. So, that's kind of up to you at this point, right?
Okay.
So you just want to watch what the opportunities are.
Right. So basically pull them back 1 hex. Is that what you're suggesting? Like Kutayazov?
Yeah, Kutayazov is interesting. If they pull back 1 to the northeast,
right.
There's a weird line of sight there. If you pull back 1, you're going to break loss because there's that bluff in front, and they'll be too close to it to even see you.
You mean the one that's Semenoyevskoye?
If you look to the east of it, you look at the 4-point victory location, and then there's the ravine continues. There's
Right.
the bluff is not continuous on the French side.
Okay.
And that means that if they get towards the eastern point of that nose, out towards hex R2C or a little bit east of that into that white zone, they're actually going to be below the bluff.
Okay.
So you got to cut the angle a little bit.
Yeah, on the other hand, you may just want to stay and fire. I mean, if you can bring, the problem is he's probably realized he can shield his heavy guns by putting little guns on them. And then that's an advantage for them because we need to kill the heavies, and hits on the light guns are okay, but they're less important.
Right. Well, and he's also got his skirmishers and stuff like that. So he's been using his skirmish cavalry and things like that to try to shield his guns. So he put a bunch of stuff out there specifically so Lowenstern's battery can't fire at them.
Yeah. So you could move forward if that improves your line of sight by hex, or you could move back and wait for them to shift. Either option, I think, is fine. What you're looking for is to be able to land certainly on 1 hex and ideally on both hexes of it with the heavy gun.
Okay.
The other important things are Kutayazov's got 1 more turn of fire, and then he's going to need cover while he reloads.
Yep.
And cav or infantry cover, anything is fine. You're just looking to avoid any catastrophic loss while you're reloading.
Right.
And then the other thing is Mitch, the 5th Corps, the Guards medium batteries. A couple of them are kind of getting low on it, which is good.
Yes. Yeah.
So you want to fire that off. But the one thing, there's plenty of live action going on in that zone, and you just need to watch that there's no gap where cavalry could suddenly come in, a light cav hussar, and route the limbered heavy batteries. That would really hurt. It's unlikely, but you need to be paying really careful attention to the zones of control and stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And also, Mitch, you forgot to move the newly reloaded heavy battery last turn. That's ouch. It's not critical, but he
Which one
would
is
have
that?
the by Dr. that battery there reloaded, and it was supposed to come roll around to the
Oh.
Emperor joint. You forgot to move it. Ouch.
Sorry.
That's all right. It happened. Yep.
Hmm.
All right. So as far as command points go, we have our usual 6 from the looks of it.
Yep.
So I probably will need one for the for this core. What is that? That's the 8th core, where I anticipate I'm going to be getting hit by Davu's stuff, so I'll have some way of dealing with it. And then one maybe for the Stroganov's division. So I just need the 2. And then I'll roll to see if my light cavalry can do anything exciting.
Well, I need one for Lavrov for sure.
Yep.
And then beyond that,
What do you suggest I do with that dragoon that made the charge and his comrade that are over there by the Great Redoubt now? Do I kedge them somewhere?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, catch him back to cover, artillery wings.
Okay.
To some extent, like one dragoon that's out there, the one that's not exhausted, Emmanuel recovered route.
Yep.
I mean, the thing we could be aware of is they could throw a bunch of cavalry to try to kill off our 2 exhausted regiments. So we could push skirmishers forward to make their cavalry's lives more difficult. We could even reoccupy the Semyonovskaya ravine near the Flesh or something, just to force them to like chase away the skirmishers rather than going after the cavalry. Or that's one idea.
I don't know if I can pull that off since most all of my skirmishers are out of command.
Yeah.
So I don't think
you want to be sure you're kedging around to get them into command. You could even use line battalions,
Yeah.
Not that they'll necessarily survive with all the heavy stuff flying around. You could go occupy the Flesh.
Right.
At Semyonovskaya and force him to do something about that. You could run one of the line infantry battalions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably into the back of the Flesh. That might be fun. And like just to change things up.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to, if we decide we want to cover those cavalry regiments, which are now exhausted and out in no man's land, we want to be pretty active about that. If we decide we don't care and we want to force the French to come to us, well, okay, then we do, but that can be painful for those poor regiments.
Right.
My inclination is to get infantry forward to, really try to. The cav is so valuable that you want to try to rescue it when you can.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know that I can muster that, but.
And in my turn, the Cossacks are inactive, and we've just hammered Eugene. This could be a turn when I give up 1 chit, just move the artillery, which still has a little bit of distance to go to line up for the heavy bombardment, and then that would give us 1 extra chit that could be used to rescue the cavalry regiments somehow.
Well, what are you using your 2 for, Mitch?
Well, as things stand, I've got one for Lavrov, and then the question begs as to what the next chit would be. These guys are out of command. Forward, so it's not like I can do anything to help them much anyway.
Right.
The 7th Division has media. You could mobilize the 7th Division.
That was going to be what I was going to suggest. If I had two, I was going to put one on the 7th Division.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have your core activation and your divisional activation. So the 7th Division for sure. And the question is, do we use my extra chit to help with a cav move or the 12th Division of Eric's or something?
Well, I'm going to do some cav moves with Lavrov.
Yes.
So I'll accomplish what I need cavalry-wise through him. So then it becomes more like, does Eric have something he wants to move around that's in command? But I would say, hey, put a command. If you're not doing it, put a command on your, I don't know what you call it, your 4th Corps or that division.
Eric, could you move the 12th Brigade Dragoons into the Semyonovsky Ravine in column of companies?
Can I move them into the so down here where it says the word Semyonovskoy, or over
east of there, between the flash, like where the ravine hooks? What we're looking to do is establish cavalry zones of control and countercharge or opportunity charge zones to prevent a rush on the exhausted cav regiments. And alternatively, if they draw chits first and charge them, then for us to countercharge the attackers.
So we're looking at just that 12th. Yeah, I mean, I mean,
you would do Seaver's whole corps because he's
but
Seaver's.
Yeah, but Seaver, I mean, the guy that Emmanuel is part of Seaver's, and the other guy's part of Seaver's. That's the 13th. They're way over there.
Yeah.
So it's only really those two regiments that are in command,
and the horse artillery, if you want it,
and the horse artillery. Yes. I've got one of the regiments I'm keeping there to cover my guns, so he can't charge them. I mean, everything's kind of there to protect the guns, for want of a better word. So if I move that stuff over there, then I am going to have a I don't know. I'm not sure how I would pull that off.
But the 12th Infantry Division or the 27th Infantry, what are they up to?
They were like fading back. The idea was that's where the 7th was going to go. So I could give something to the 12th, and I could have some of the units from the 12th march forward. And then they're going to be, out in the middle of a very unpleasant place.
Could you reoccupy the ravine with a row of infantry columns to block cav movement?
Yeah, so it cost me 1 to change. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could get one guy in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, one guy can't make it. I've only got 2 guys that could kind of get there. Everybody else is kind of back in reserve. 1,
right.
1,
You're
2,
right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Yeah, no, I can't. No, I can't get back there. So, and I don't know that we've got any other cavalry reserve that's in the neighborhood, right?
Kreitz's dragoon regiments are coming up, but they're a turn or 2 away.
Yeah.
How about your light cav, the purple purple hussars.
They could. Vasil actually passed his initiative check.
What if they came up and made a really long bent column of companies west of the flesh?
Okay.
And then if they charge you, you retreat before combat.
Okay.
How about that?
So where am I putting them?
They would go from the flesh west in the Hooky Ravine.
But he's got cavalry there. What's preventing them from opportunity charging me?
Your strength.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe nothing. I'm just sort of imagining at this point, speculating.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can get there, right? Let's see.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can just barely get to 1 hex east of my blown dragoons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in that situation, I'm still in line. I don't have enough points then to spend to go into a column of companies.
Okay. So the cav that could come up and help out is the Guards Cuirassier division. Like they're definitely within range to pull forward, basically somewhat south of the Great. It's interesting. Their artillery coverage of the zone where the Grenadier probe was going on is weak. Although they have batteries beginning to arrive, but they don't have like heavy batteries, and their heavy batteries are running out of ammo. So if the Cuirassiers came up, where would they get? A Cuirassier regiment, like the Emperor's Cuirassiers, could reach 1 hex of the ravine. He'd be out of artillery range and have a southward facing arc. But that's just one. It's not a full protection.
Right.
They could go 2 hexes north of Emmanuel's blown dragoons, next to R12.
Right.
And point south. That would give Emmanuel protection against a charge, because no matter where they charge, you would. Mitch, do you see what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 hexes due north of Emmanuel. So if some of the white Cuirassiers, like Emperor's Cuirassiers, who are closest, could 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, it's a 9-point move to there, that would give Emmanuel good cover. And without exposing that Cuirassier regiment to too much trouble, depending on how chits fall and stuff. So, and then another one could come forward northwest of the Dyakov Sumy Hussars, roughly in between the disordered Grenadier Battalion and the Skirmisher Battalion 11th that's in column, roughly halfway between them, or 1 further south, with like due south of this battalion here, 2 hexes. That would give you a 3 hex reaction charge range out to the front of that regiment if it gets challenged by cavalry. Or you could go due north of it, 2 hexes due north of it, without blocking the fire path of the heavy artillery too bad. So maybe, although the dragoons are already there too, like that.
I'm thinking maybe 2-column line too. I mean, a 2 hex line.
Yeah. Bigger reaction.
Bigger spread. Yeah.
Yeah. You could put it. You could put a 2 hex column of companies, or maybe a 3 hex column of companies, because they're big regiment. You could put it. Actually, the 8-point guy, Chevalier Guard, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, you could put a 2 hex column of companies next to the battalion that's in column next to this one. It could go like just left of it. That's pretty good coverage. And of course, if the French charge first, then you're going to be looking at stomping whoever did their charging, really.
Yes.
So what do we need to do with chits?
I've got my 2, and I rolled for Vasilov. Oh, and I put it on the wrong one. Vasilov did not get an activation. It was Karpov that got the activation. So that big hussar couldn't do anything anyway. So
He could. Okay, so he's on guard duty for the guns.
Yep.
Okay. So we're
I mean,
basically
I
looking.
guess, do you want me to go ahead and roll for Dorokov?
Or do we give him a chit? Or he's probably catching stuff because most of his guys were in action.
Right. He's got this guy right here.
That's not worth it.
No,
That's
but I
not
think it's worth rolling for it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to roll.
Doesn't hurt to roll.
Oh, so he made
my
it.
gosh.
He's made it.
Good.
It's a
Okay,
miracle.
so between the cuirassiers and that tired regiment, we
It's
have
something.
some coverage. Yeah. Okay, that's good. And then, so maybe I take my 2 chits and keep moving Tolstoy to pressure Eugene.
I think not giving up on our initiative is good.
Okay. All right, so I'll do that. So.
Okay, so it looks like the 7th Division is activated and Lavrov's Corps is activated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And then it's business as usual out on the far stretches of humanity. Cool.
Yep.
So don't leave anybody out that's super vulnerable to assault.
Try not to.
Right, you know what I mean?
We don't want to get anybody surrounded because then they'll call Kutaisov and
exactly,
he'll surrender.
Yeah.
But it has to be an infantry assault, right? It's not.
It's not
a targeted
cavalry.
infantry.
Yep, it's only infantry.
So I mean, they could conceivably surround some of the exhausted regiments, but they're going to have something clear their path, but because the assaults come at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then I guess we're kind of playing the action by ear. We're trying to. Mitch, you want to get the 7th Division's artillery batteries forward to Hex R12 or thereabouts, and unlimber them and start looking for targets, probably. That kind of thing.
Can we just reassign this gun from the 1st Western to him?
Yes.
Let's just do that right now. I know he's out of command, but he'll be able to follow if I get the regroup check.
Do you mean the 3.5 heavy gun?
Yes.
Where's his range to Lavrov? 2, 4, 6. He's out of range of Lavrov. Does he have a? Oh, that's bad news. He has 2 things he could do. He could go replace the damaged guns that are getting hit to the south. Because if you take one more hit on either battery, then they can prolong together. You'll get 3, and this new battery will come in and step in and take it over. So that's probably your move.
All right.
Yep. Your alternative move is to catch him west, and then Lavrov's 2 heavy batteries. They want to find some place to unlimber and take one shot from a safe location this turn.
I know it's kind of a pain, isn't it? Yeah.
They could almost. I mean, you can move the cuirassiers forward. They could roll forward to about where Kantakuzin is, the green leader, and unlimber there. They'll probably find an infantry or cavalry target.
Oh
south.
yeah, that's about where I was going to. Yeah, you've got the right idea. Yeah.
Like you could hit the Imperial chasseurs who are routed in the brush. They will definitely be there because they can't get away. So that's your probable target kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can send Bagavut, who's a good artillery leader, to go help them fire together if they want it. They could fire with the emperors. We'll work that out on the fly.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
That's like a plan.
All right.
Main room.
Main room.
Yep.
See you there.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it would have been better for us to play with the wagons or not. If we had the wagons, then we'd have a bunch of wagons piled up everywhere. I'm curious how wagons work if you need a command point to move them, or they move when the artillery moves. How do you guys normally handle that? Or have you?
They're in command along with everybody in the MU they're part of.
Okay. So they don't
And
have
if
to
we
be
had
within.
wagons, there would be no pause in the firing because we would keep the wagons feeding forward.
Yep.
And we would never have these gaps. It would be boring.
Okay.
It would be a huge amount of physical movement. It doubles the number of counters, and there would never, and we would keep them feeding forward so that nobody would ever run out of them.
Right.
It would be pointless, utterly pointless.
Okay.
So this is a more interesting texture this way.
I'll say. All right. I'll be back in half a second. Got to refill my cup of tea.
Mitch, you having fun?
Oh yeah, absolutely. A little bit of a headache tonight, but that's, that's just life.
Too many intervals.
Something like that. Just the wind down was pretty intense. Calculus 2 next semester.
Oof.
Oh, I know.
Gradients.
Radians, is that what you said?
Gradients.
Oh, gradient descent.
That's like three-dimensional derivatives.
Yep. I think I can handle that part.
They're all perpendicular.
Let's see. Finished with an A and a B. Wasn't too bad.
That's great.
Yeah. Probably the hardest class I'll have to take.
Last turn had a lot of heavy action in it. Net, it was a grind, not a decisive tip in our favor.
No. Bad rolling again.
You nailed one cav regiment that routed off to the edge of the plateau and died.
That's true.
Which was useful, but it left us exposed rather than recovered.
Yep.
I stomped all three of Eugene's batteries, but at a high cost. I lost half a cav regiment and a full infantry battalion. That was an expensive effort against that battery there.
Oh yeah, knocking those guns out is huge.
Yep.
It just opens up that whole plateau for you now.
Mm-hmm.
Because now he has no effective cannon. I mean, he can hodgepodge a little bit of it together, but not much.
So the next target is the second battery down that's firing on Bordino Village.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
They're starting to get short on ammo. And theoretically, once that battery goes away, you could start the Guards infantry rush, or you can just keep waiting until it's really very clear where it's all going to go. There's no need to expose your troops to damage until we're really ready.
Okay.
Because what you really want to do, I mean, basically, we want to fire off all of our artillery ammo and reload all the guns. So the main thing for the coming hour is just blanket everything with artillery without necessarily moving too much.
Yeah. And that was a good artillery hit I got on Schwer.
Yes. Everyone counts.
Yeah. And that's not a trivial gun. That's the big 12-pounder.
Yep. Exactly. Like they had a total of 36 increments of 12-pounder to start with, and we had 45. So we had but we've now knocked out we knocked out 4 batteries early. You did all that with ACDC. That was 8 increments, and then now we've hit about 3 more. So we've actually knocked out about a third of their 12-pounder force total.
Mm-hmm.
At a cost of only 2 increments of our own. So if we can score a few more 12-pounder hits, hopefully we'll tip them right off the map, basically.
Yeah.
They committed Lauriston's 12-pounders over to help Eugene. And that's 3 heavy batteries that have no targets. So they've basically deployed them in a place where they are useless for now. Which is great.
You put this French army into a little tight little ball, and you make it just like a big bowling ball right through the Russian army. Just concentrate everything into a tight little package.
Yep, we're squeezing them down.
This fighting across this huge front for the French just cannot be it's not Napoleon's way, that's for sure.
No, he used to concentrate. He'd try to get 3/4, 2/3 or 3/4 of his army on one place rather than an equal distribution across the front.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm.
And the reason is, in that place where you've chosen to have the 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 advantage, you have a huge advantage. And then you can make active things happen.
And I'm kind of glad it cost me pretty severe, but having those French cavalry get, particularly those the brats, all they did was knock out a company, not a company, but a battalion of men. So be it. It wasn't that bad.
And now they're out of the action for a few more turns.
Yeah, and just not having them screwing with us is huge.
Yep. Now they have plenty more regiments just like that. Like if they make a strong cavalry effort, that's no fun for us. But you've got our strongest cavalry of all, the Guards Cuirassiers, ready this turn to probably in a moderately defensive mode, or if necessary, depending on the chit pulls and how aggressive the French are, if necessary, you could go attack the disordered, exhausted French after they charge.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it looks like he has put a command chit on Saint Alphonse, who is the heavy cavalry that's over there on the road, on the New Smolensk road.
Oh, yeah.
So I would imagine that they would be making a beeline for your, I don't know if they can.
Are they going to charge the guns on the slope?
I don't know.
Or they may, you wonder if they're going to, they got to cross the river, not an easy thing if they're going to try anything.
Right.
I don't think they can get far enough to get up on the plateau and threaten my artillery. They're slow.
Yeah, I mean that because it's that heavy slope on the other side, and can they cross the heavy slope?
Not easily, not without starting right next to it. Yeah.
It's +9, yeah, and +8 going up. So yeah, I don't think they can really get over that way. They can't.
But you're right, it is some wicked tough cavalry.
Cuirassiers, yep. Maybe they're going to set them up defensively. I mean, their general thinking has been by and large defensive, west and central. Their attack is on the right.
Right.
Also, I mean, they could make a charge with one division of Cuirassiers. Yes, it's heavy, but it's not a huge threat, I don't think. Anything catastrophic they could do? Hopefully not.
Well, and he's got his guys, that poor division, that's what's left of it. They're all in square. They're ripe for getting hit with an assault.
Yeah, or just more firepower. I mean,
yeah, that's true too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, just kind of keep rolling things up over on that side of the line, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Building the pressure.
Yep.
Oh, I can roll for some of these like cavalry groups, probably, right? I'll bet I can. I'll bet Orlov could roll. Score. Let's double check that he has that ability.
Orlov?
Like that's something I use so rarely because it's not efficient. But let's look. Special is Orlov Denisov one of the Russian light cav leader?
Who is he part of?
Guards, First Cav Corps, Guards Cossack Division or Brigade.
First. Yeah, Orlov.
Great.
Is he like a hyphenated name?
Yeah, Orlov Denisov.
Yep. Yeah, he's got a little crossbar there next to him. What's his value? Just
Cool.
out of curiosity.
3.
Oh, that's not bad.
And he's commanding the Lifeguard Cossacks and Hussars and the artillery at this point, which is sweet. There's a lot of horse artillery there that I allocated to him. This is nice. Let's have another chip, please. That I'll use 15 for that. No, I should be a different one. Okay.
I've got 2, 3, and 12.
I'll just use 15 for.
I'm 6, 5, and 13.
Who's number 1? That's Oilers, guys. Okay.
Yeah, Oilers artillery.
So 1, 2, 3. 4 is still the 4th Corps. 5. 6.
I put my chips in the cup.
There's our 6. Did you put them all in? Or just the ones that you were using?
Just my 3.
Okay. Where are the ones that were... Did you put number 1 and number 4 in there as well?
I didn't intend to.
I don't see them here on the block.
Let's pull them all out. There's the one in there.
Do we have any more available chits?
Yeah, number 14 hasn't been used.
Great, I'll take that one. Because Karpov failed or died or whatever.
Who? Which Karpov?
Who was normally 14 now?
Yeah, it was Karpov, but I've been using number 12 interchangeably between him and Vasilov.
Got it.
Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those are our standard 6 in the bucket. We've got our other ones. 13 is your cavalry. 12 is my cavalry. 14 is...
Panchalidze. Could you just confirm that he also has... He's got it marked on his counter, but I'm not sure that it's in the scenario rules. I don't have the scenario rules around it.
I just have the... So which... who is he part of?
He's part of second Cav Corps.
2nd Cavalry Corps. Here, let me try to see if I can read it.
You're talking about light cavalry leaders of special ability or whatever?
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Panchalidze.
The 2nd?
What's the first letter?
Yep. Panjalita number 2. Yeah, he is.
Yep. Cool, great, awesome. Who knew I'd get 2 1s? I've intentionally not been rolling for light cav, but there they go. How about that?
You might as well.
Yeah. Most of the rest of the leaders are the light cav leaders are the Cossack brigade groups, but we tried for the division and failed. So
okay, so we've got in the bucket our usual 6, plus I've got one of my light cav. Mitch has got a light cav, and then you had 2 light calves, number 14 and number 15. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's unique, unexpected.
Yeah, well, you can have some fun with that, perhaps.
Oh.
finish off Grouchy.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we can surround him and capture the leader. Like, not that he's all that valuable, but wouldn't hurt.
There you
Is
go.
Grouchy a cav leader of special ability? No, probably not.
No. Only Marat is, and I think on the Russian
There's
side,
a couple more. Montbrun is special cav. I'll bet Bessiere is special cav also. Russian is like Golitsyn or somebody.
Let's see,
Eliminating Grouchy
Marat,
at 1812.
Bessieres, Latour Malberg, and Montbrun are the French special cavalry leaders. And the Russians, just Golitsyn. Yeah, it's really interesting to see because we're playing on Sunday nights. We're playing the Battle of Zorndorf, which is, I think, 1758 or something like that. And it is the Russians against the Prussians. And there is a Golitsyn there who is a leader, but he's an infantry leader or a wing leader.
That was one of the
like
major noble families in
yeah.
Russia.
So I'm kind of figuring, okay, it's got to be, some sort of, family name kind of stuff. But you do see some of the different names that were there. Like I think Tolstoy is at one of them. There's a few others that seem to pop up that are at that particular battle and at then some of these different ones here that are happening during the Napoleonic time period.
So with my light cav active, I might be able to make a cavalry raid against his next artillery battery, which is Dontuar.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, they're poorly escorted, depending on what Saint Alphonse does, and depending on the chit pulls. Like if the light cav is pulled late,
mm-hmm.
I might be able to run down the Voyna Valley because Grouchy's artillery is now silent. I can run right in front of it and maybe hit those batteries in the flank, knock them out, and I would screen the dragoons, which will be immobile.
Right.
Guns automatically face?
Not if they're more than one. Only a single battery in a hex, lightly stacked, can do that.
Oh,
but
okay.
That's a heavy battery. So conceivably, I could run down, knock them out. And then next turn, if we get that battery, then next turn you could launch the guard infantry to go stop the rest of it. And that'd be a major turning point of the battle if we commit the Russian guard, that direction. Grouchy's, time is running out at that point.
I like peeling them off, top to bottom.
Yeah, that's the general plan.
The other thing is, the Westphalians will be under attack as well.
Exactly. It's important.
We've got
our artillery time to work.
Yeah. We might have friends. I heard of John.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Matt has joined us.
Matt.
Okay. You had muted him earlier.
Oh yeah, I will unmute you.
Some cookies for Christmas.
Hey Matt, how are you?
Doing pretty good, actually.
Good.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, you had been in the conversation, and we could hear you and your wife chatting with each other, so I had to mute you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm sorry that was not intentional.
That's okay. Yeah, I kind of figured you weren't able to focus or aware of what was happening. So
yeah, so I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm back. I just took a minute off to mix up some oatmeal cookies because I got to start my Christmas baking tonight.
Yeah,
so
that's
I'm here
on my
listening.
That's on my plan of things to do this week too. I was out shopping.
Oh yeah,
out shopping.
I'm gonna do a lot of cookies. I actually make good cookies, and I never make them through the year, so I'm gonna enjoy them.
Okay, well, good. Hey, I have tentatively scheduled our live stream on Thursday morning. Will that work for you?
Absolutely, positively.
Okay, cool. I will roll out of bed and tousle my hair and try to be awake enough to play some Alau.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And the 1.5 rules are apparently imminent.
Okay, yeah, I'd heard something about that, and I saw, I think Uwe had made a post somewhere, maybe it was on Facebook, saying that, he was getting whatever the most recent update from so-and-so, and then it was going to be approved shortly. So we'll see how
Yeah,
that
I
plays
think
out.
that they're going into their production for the PDF and then the charts.
Okay.
So that'll hopefully be real quick.
Well, good. Well, and as we discovered, they made a lot of improvements over what was the
1.2 or
1.3.
1.1.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So I mean, I was fairly pleased with what they have for 1.3. I mean, yeah, 1.4. I was pretty pleased with that. They seemed to fix a number of issues.
Yeah, but I
So-
was listening to you earlier and you were talking about the retreat paths here and how you're always coming up against something. Well, what do I do at this spot? And we're in the same position in ALA. What do we do to get out of this retreat? Where can we move? So,
Well, and it seems to be that you're just kind of pushing. So if you move, you're pushing the guy who you bump into back. And so
Yep.
you end up just pushing people back, it looks like, which is a different way of handling it.
it's a different way of handling it, but it's still the same constraint of trying to get further away from the unit that attacked you.
Right.
You've
Well,
got
and-
to increase that range
yeah.
unless there's no other move you can make.
Right. And the difference is you're trying to get away from the unit that attacked you, not necessarily
Yes.
every other, French or Russian unit on the map.
Correct.
Yeah.
You have to increase the distance between the attacking unit and the defending unit, and you can't go adjacent to an enemy unit because then you lose a step.
Right.
Other than that, I'm gonna unmute here. I'm gonna mute here, and I'm gonna listen along. So sorry, guys, didn't want to hijack the conversation.
No worries. I will see you Thursday morning, bright and early, 6 a.m.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna continue watching.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 6 a.m. Yay, woo!
Yay, woo woo. Well, we had a couple of people in Europe, I think, that were happy to have us broadcasting at
Well,
that time of the day.
It's really the only time I can get up and get something done because I've got family and they've got demands and I've got work and people are calling me and there's animals walking all over. But between 6 and 8, I'm really pretty good.
Yeah. No, it should be fun.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll see you then, and I'm going to keep on listening.
All right, cool. Thanks, Matt. Be well. Yeah, so if you wonder why I'm not paying the most attention to the regs rules, it's because I'm still helping Ed with playtesting his upcoming new version of ALAU. So I've got to stay on top of 5th edition rules. And since I've been playtesting that with Jim Soto, who is really only a premier, sort of guy, I have to know those rules well enough for both of us. So then when it comes to the regs, I'm like, I'll just let somebody else figure it out. I'm not gonna sweat it.
I think the group here has gotten the regs dialed pretty well.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure as things start to happen, we'll start to get a better feel for it. We haven't had too much combat yet, but as we do, we'll figure it out.
What are the victory conditions in ILAU playtest scenario?
So they're not much dissimilar from the original at this point. Basically, where you're capturing villages and putting people on morale levels and whatnot. So right now, Jim and I we set up the grand battle scenario, but we've really just been focusing on the southern end of the line. Mostly because we don't have enough sort of bandwidth to do the whole front. It would really be better if we had 4 guys playing the game, because then we can kind of split it up, and we can make more progress. So we decided we're just going to focus on sort of everything from, I guess it's Bagavoo. Is it Bagavoo? Yeah, Bagavoo, um, and that I guess it would be the battery of the right, no, the left wing battery of the Russians, and so I think we've got who is it? It might be Saint Hilaire's division of his division we used. I think we used one Dragoon division, and then now we've got Murat's Corps coming in, and then against that we've got Bagavuz's little detachment, the Cossacks that are part of the left wing, and I think we brought in another Russian division, maybe the 5th Division or something like that. So we've been just keeping it really kind of limited and small, and just kind of focusing on that part of the battlefield. I know Ed and Alex and Bill and a couple other guys were playing like the whole thing, but they've got, I think, 3 or 4 guys that are playing the whole battle. And I think Alex had posted something on Facebook.
Yeah, he did a couple of posts about it, a couple of minutes. Good stuff.
Yeah, so that should be that should be good. And I know Jim, we haven't really played much this month. We got the holidays coming up and whatnot, but we'll be back at it again in January. And then Matt and I are playing the Sound of Drums game of Alau. And so we're doing that on Thursday mornings at the crack of dawn, California time. So that's been fun. So for me, it's a lot of like learning how to play that rule set and kind of adapting it. But Matt had commented on, I have sort of this checkerboard pattern for my guys, and he's like, I've played this game with a couple other people. No one's ever done that before. I'm like, well, I'm trying to apply this, that what we use in La Bataille, seeing if I can apply it to other Napoleonic games too. So
it was done historically. I mean, how else are you going to create the space for the cavalry to work through the infantry?
Yeah.
How else are you going to create the space for units to route back more or less safely without stampeding your own guys?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the cover picture of the original Eylau game, when you look at the Russian army on the far slope past the church, like off in the distance, you can actually, it's pretty well checkerboarded.
Right. Well, and it's not unlike that. There was something that I think the Marshall guys had put up about how a Russian division would have been disposed of. With you've got guys
Monty
in line.
Matson
Yep.
wrote a really good piece on that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
I have a quick question for all you guys.
Yeah.
I'm learning the Regs 30. Is that a good place to start? I mean, there's so many choices.
It's fine. They're actually all good. The Regs 30 is extremely cleanly written. It's very well structured. There are almost no ambiguities in it at all, which is a big problem in the other ones. And if you work at it, you'll learn a very, very consistent rule set.
Fantastic.
That said,
That's what I had hoped.
It's very, very long, detailed, comprehensive, and so on. But it's worth it. It produces, once you grok it, it's an extremely dynamic game.
Well, I read myself to sleep in the cavalry charge section last night. I only got to about page 9 out of the cavalry charges. So, there's still plenty to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the cavalry charge rules are really long, but the cavalry charge implementation is actually extremely dynamic and exciting. It's really dynamic. It's like driving on a highway in moderate traffic where you can weave through and flank and like slow down and accelerate. It's actually really, really exciting.
I'm going to have to take a Dramamine before I play.
Yep. Yes. The other things to note, which are really unique to Regs 30, ways that it's very different. If you played pure Regs 30, the artillery is extremely powerful. You can't screen it with skirmishers or other units because it doesn't reduce the firepower. It just shoots straight through everything. So artillery is deadly.
Okay.
Another really interesting thing, grand tactically in Regs 30, is that you can use highly condensed formations, which I kind of call the can opener, because of the multiple MU movements, you can have multiple MUs, multiple groups, like one infantry corps and 3 different cavalry corps or divisions. They can all act, because they're acting at different times of the turn, against a narrow frontage. And what that means over the course of a turn or 3 turns for an hour is you can hit a narrow front with 3 or 5 different major units at different times in the turn.
Wow. Okay.
And you can penetrate to incredible depth that way, especially with the heavy cavalry.
Interesting.
And these are emergent properties of the system that's not visible in the rules. But once you know the rules for mechanics, then you're like, oh my God, now that we have this engine, how can we maximize its power? And like, there's really powerful stuff you can do.
There are analogous advantages in the Battles of Napoleon system that are really interesting with the way that activations work. And you can have multiple activations for the same division.
So same idea.
Kind of, it's another way of throwing in that can opener feel.
Yes. Did you ever play that Avalon Hill game, Russian campaign?
I think I probably played it once at a friend's house, but there's no real memory of it.
It had armored impulses, or Third Reich, a lot of people have played, with the exploitation where the armor could hit and then break through and exploit into the rear. Like
Europa has that.
What's that?
Europa has that.
So you can, once you figure it out, you can use that, especially with heavy cavalry. Like, not to kibitz or comment too much on people's gameplay here, and this is the first time that team is playing this battle. But what they've done is distribute the French army broadly across a wide front. Actually suboptimal. What you really want to do is condense the French army to a moderately narrow front and have got 4 monster reserve cavalry corps. And the way they should be used is all together, with the 1st and 2nd reserve cavalry corps charging on turn 1, and then on turn 2, the 1st and 2nd heavy cavalry corps rest, and the 3rd and 4th cavalry corps charge. And what they should be doing is trying to wipe out the entire Russian cavalry force within the first few hours of the game because they can do it. And that's the French advantage, is maneuver and heavy cavalry. They're not using it at all here.
Well, I'm still really interested in what you're doing.
Yep.
I'm
That's
having a good
just
time watching
high
this.
level commentary. It's really, really fun, of course, to play. What the Russians do to optimize, they try to stall and use artillery fire, but they're trying to blow everything down and let their incredibly powerful artillery just sweep the field, sweep the field, sweep the field. If it's artillery action, it's favoring the Russians. If it's maneuver action, it favors the French.
We're going on 6 hours of combat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
the
a
end of
third of the way through the game.
Yeah, I would say the end of the day is what, 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
So we've delayed for a third of the battle, which is not terrible.
Yep.
That was the
It's
whole
only
goal.
just starting to heat up now.
Yeah.
The French do throw a hard punch.
Yeah, the French have a technological advantage in a lot of ways. They, in the Regs 30 in particular, they get more chit commands than their opponents, usually by a lot. So they're much more mobile. And the way to take advantage of that is it's actually not really by sweeping maneuvers. It's really by dense, short range maneuvers, like Mike Tyson style short hooks, but a flurry. That's where the power comes. And they should plan the battle to maximize their use of that advantage. Another huge technological advantage that the French have in Regs 30 is the Old Guard, which has the Old Guard charge feature. We haven't seen it. And like at Borodino, it's actually expensive because the Old Guard losses are very expensive in victory points. In some of the other games, they're not as expensive. But mechanically, how the Old Guard charge works is it acts like infantry that acts like cavalry. So
it's like a double charge.
Yeah, a double assault. But I mean, basically, it attacks with an assault on the move, and it also, when it does that, because assault's double infantry firepower, it can fire these devastating musketry volleys. Like the Old Guard has a ×5 multiplier, and their firepower is doubled if they charge. So if they charge in line formation, they can hit with a 10-to-1 volley, disorder their target, and then rout it in the melee, and that opens 1 hex gap. Now the 2nd battalion comes up. It launches another Old Guard charge at the 2nd. By the time the Grenadiers have finished, they've knocked out 4 battalions wide. Now the Chasseurs charge. They go past the Grenadiers and hit the 2nd row of defenders. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they've knocked out 4 battalions in the front line and 4 battalions in the 2nd reserve line. Usually that's a gap. And then the heavy cavalry corps pour through. Like that's the real French technology advantage.
And it won't last much longer. The whole cavalry, the cavalry business is close to its apex here.
Oh no, it's just getting started. The other thing, I mean, in this game,
No,
we're
I mean
playing
by 18.
Oh yeah, 1815, absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's shortly after this. We're talking about automated weapons.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is the absolute apogee of battle cavalry.
Yeah.
And when used in Regs 30, it's tremendously exciting and tremendously powerful. But if you use it in a concentrated way, not in a dispersed way.
And I'm also just kind of a proponent of the adage of you just centralize your most mobilized forces. They belong not on a wing, but in a centralized location.
And mutual support of each other. So rather than saying, "Oh, great, we could send 1 reserve cavalry corps to the wing, then they'd have 1, and 1 to the other wing, then they'd have 1, and 2 in the center." Okay, great, but you lose the synergy of having all 4 acting together as modules of a modular attacking ram, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those are entirely emergent properties of the Regs 30 rule system. That's like 2 levels above the pure mechanics of how do I move the units, how do they fight. First, you go up to the division level, how do 9 units fight together, and then you go up to the corps and army level, the grand tactics. That's where these types of things emerge.
Pretty complicated in my estimation.
Yeah.
Not easy like chess and complex like chess, because the rule set is longer than chess. But there's like, okay, now you know how to move the pieces. now move them effectively. It's a wholly different beast.
Yep.
And having any, sometimes I look at the board and I'm like, I don't really have a plan here. What am I even supposed to try to accomplish here? It can be overwhelming. I also think the leadership at this level and age is sort of an apex, because after this era, command gets decentralized.
Yes, and then you got the telegraph and everything.
Yeah, communicate. Yeah, it's just not one guy out there making all these calls.
Yep.
Well, those French are taking a long time.
Yeah, we've put them in a tight spot. I think my light cavalry leaders do not get their initiatives because they are within range of their corps leader. Okay. Yeah.
Are they part of? Yeah,
But not an active area report.
they've got the same thing, right? Because is Corps their corps leader?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so they wouldn't be able to do it either.
Okay.
I'd send a note to Mike about that, because I saw him roll for Wolf. I'm like, well, Wolf is within range of Junot. So.
I'm not too sad about that. Like, they weren't planning to.
Well, but could you have rolled for initiative for Corf?
No, he doesn't get initiative. Yeah. I knew there was something nibbling there. Yeah. Trying to play with the light cav leaders, counting on them, that's not a good reliable way. You're better off fighting it like an army battle, a heavy duty battle, where the command points activate the core and you get all of them. Like, that works.
Well, Orlov is part of Uvarov. I don't know where Uvarov is.
They're all in range.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So. I'm very careful about that, because the intent is to play, coherent rather than.
Yeah, because at least, I mean, Orlov's got a decent initiative, but you can't, when you...
Not if he's too close to the corps leader. That's for independent distance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ditto for the Cossacks. I mean, it's in a heavy battle like this, it's so much more actually effective just to move the corps, and if you need to wait for the command point, you just wait for the command point.
Right.
It does sort of seem like there's a lack of French infantry in the very middle.
Yes, because they've overcommitted to the right, and Eugène is their second most powerful corps, and they've strung them out on the far left with working by division. That was a strategic misunderstanding of how their army is designed. The striking forces are Davout and Eugène, but they're using Eugène as a defensive force rather than a striking force.
Because what, Eugene had 3 divisions, or?
He starts with 5, because he's got assigned 2 of Davout's. And they took those divisions away, gave them back to Davout. Okay, that's fine. But the 3 divisions remain, and there's 3 good ones.
So
they've just been trying to hold territory.
So where does it say they're assigned to Eugene?
That's the history.
Yeah, right. Because for game purposes, at least when we played this couple years back, we had those divisions. You had to activate them by division.
I mean, in the standard scenario, everyone activates by division, basically.
True.
So it didn't matter so much.
Yeah.
We're trying to give it some excitement by enabling core activations. This game, played by division, it produces an absolute historical showcase, but it's
Yes.
boring.
Yeah. No, I agree.
As a game, it's just like not fun. You've got these huge armies, they're gloriously shown, and you can't do anything with them.
Yeah. No, they just kind of sit there and, if the Russians pull back from the Bagration Fletches, and particularly if you have it where Napoleon basically has a sit at the Shevardino redoubt, then you might be able to maneuver by corps for a few turns, but at some point everybody gets to the edge of their leash. And so when we played this, and then we were going to play it at Consim, and the game kind of fell through. We had a bunch of guys, and a bunch of them couldn't make it. And so I basically said, I think I was going to be playing the Russians, and I just said, well, we would just pull back. The French have their advantage in their cores, but once you pull back beyond the reach of their core, stuff in Napoleon, you're basically they're like a dog on a chain. They only go so far, and as long as you stay, beyond the reach of their chain, you're safe.
Yeah, they're gnashing their teeth, but they can't reach you.
Yeah, yeah. And so then they have to spend points to activate each division, and then the Russians are spending points to activate each division. But at least the Russians have the opportunity occasionally to roll and get a lucky roll and activate a corps, or I think that's one of the random results.
But the whole thing becomes a question of random statistics.
Yeah.
Rather than grand tactical design and intention and excitement. So.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, you've got this huge battlefield. You've got these huge armies which reward interesting play at the core level with, core and army level maneuvers. This game can reward that, which we're seeing. It's really, really fun.
Right.
But you have to make the command permissive, not limiting.
Right.
If you just play basically by division, then okay, you've got 8 divisions versus 6 divisions every turn. And then the optimization is basically it's a front of 4 divisions on one side and 3 on the other because you want 2 depth. And then the game is between 4 divisions against 3 divisions. Thank you. Right. And it's a total slugfest because eventually the first 4 die and the first 3 die, and then the next one comes up. Okay, great. Thank you.
Right.
And that's to some extent what the history was like. I think we've done a really fun release of those restrictions, and now we're seeing what the armies can do the way they were designed to work.
Right. Did you, when you've played this before, did you use that sort of option?
Yeah, because I mean we've played it a few times with the division by division,
right?
And it's like, great, here we are in the museum again,
right? Yeah.
The dust. I mean, it's very interesting. If you visited the battlefield, which I've done 5 or 8 times, and if you've been to the museums, it happens, it unfolds either with some moderate change or exactly like the history over and over again.
Right.
All right. I think we got it figured out finally. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
All right. So you sure?
All right. So
I'm
starting
sure
from
you want to know.
Yeah, going from west to east. What's cooking?
All right. So DeVoe's got 1. 2 and 3. 1 is on de France down here, heavy cavalry.
Okay.
2 and number 3. These are all assigned. So 3 is on the heavy cavalry here under St. Alphonse.
Okay.
4 is Hussein, and for the turn, these guns have been assigned to Hussein.
Okay.
5 is the 14th Division.
Okay.
6 is the 13th Division. 7 is Junot.
Okay. And 8
8
is
is
Ney.
Ney.
Okay.
And 9 is the Young Guard. And those are the 9 assigned.
Okay. Cool.
All right. And then the others are all light. 10 is
Right. Pujol, it looks like.
Peugeot. 11 is Chastel, or not Chastel, Arnano.
Right.
And 13th was Colbert. 14th is Guyot. And I think, or excuse me, 13th is Guyot. 12th is Colbert. And 14th and 15th are Blank.
Okay.
So we are there.
Cool. Just in time for us all to pack it up for the night.
No, start fresh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. For us, then let's just go. We'll start off in the east and work our way west. So for us, number 2 is this corps. I think it's the 8th Corps. Number 3 is Stroganov's division. I got a light cavalry roll for Karpov. Then moving over towards the center, Mitch, why don't you go ahead? I think what we've got.
Sure.
Yeah.
Lavrov as a core.
Is it right?
Excuse me. 7th Division is a division,
Right.
and Dorokoff role.
For light cavalry. Okay, good.
Yep.
And then
On the west, we have the artillery, Grand Battery, and the 4th Corps. The Cossacks are inactive, and I thought that the light cav could roll, but they're in range of their corps commander, so they actually couldn't roll. So those are not accurate.
All right. So what's on okay, so
Same as
Tolstoy.
ours.
so Tolstoy.
Tolstoy and Euler.
Here and then that. So that's our 6, and then we had 2 light cav that made their roll.
And Tolstoy is a core.
Correct.
Yeah.
Who does he report to?
Miloradovich.
And that's also who Lavrov does.
Lavrov reports to Barclay directly. Barclay commands Miloradovich on the right wing, who commands Tolstoy. And Lavrov is right within range of Barclay, he's the commander, the army commander.
And the corps commander on the right gets his from
Miloradovich, from Barclay, transmitted through Miloradovich, the wing commander. They have 10. That's Barclay is on the cannons because he's got a good cannon rating. And then Miloradovich is up here and Tolstoy is over here. So it's 10, it's like 8 or so, and then it's 10 out to Tolstoy.
No, I was talking about on the right, the other corps.
Oh,
That was the
corps.
so my corps here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
On the far
the army commander's right here, 2 hexes away from him.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just, trying to, because
keep it all straight.
Yep.
yeah. So, all right. Sounds good.
Cool. All right, we'll go ahead and hit the big save button there. And then
Sounds good.
And the move button got pressed at the end of the last one, right?
it looks
be
like
good.
it. I don't see move stuff on it.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Well, it should be good. All right. File. Save game as.
All right, start of the 11 a.m. turn.
Session 29.
All right, what's the game plan for next week? I know that's Christmas. So what's
So William's coming out on Saturday, so I'm tentative, and I can let everybody know. And if you want to play and move my stuff, that's fine.
I'm down for next week.
I'm down.
okay?
I'm in.
My brother's flying in from Portland. I'm not sure what our family plans are, so I will hopefully have a better idea later this week. But I'll see if I can't try to have Monday available, but there's no guarantees.
Okay. All right.
But I know the week
Like a
after
race driver.
that, the week, the following week, I know I should be available. So cool.
All right.
All right. And Rick, you. Are you tentative?
Yeah, I can be available.
Okay.
If Eric shows, I'll show.
Yeah, Michael.
Okay. Well, I'll see what I can do, Rick. So I know that you're chomping at the bit.
Am I?
Of course. It's
Big
big
Napoleon just
excitement.
won't give me all my, MUs. Being mean at me.
Oh, Napoleon's a big meanie.
Yeah. And
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to take off, and I'll catch you next week.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
take care.
everybody.
I'll see you
Lots of
Thursday
fun.
morning, Matt.
See you next time.